let's be honest. Have you ever wondered if you're living life on the right schedule? Whether you're supposed to be that person up at 5 a.m., crushing it before sunrise, or if you're actually at your best burning that midnight oil at 2 a.m. It's a huge debate, right? Is it better to be a morning lark or a night owl? Well, in this explainer, we're finally going to settle the score and see which one really comes out on top.
So, right off the bat, I want you to think about yourself for a second. What's your natural rhythm? Are you the type who just springs out of bed, totally ready to go? Or do you get your best ideas when the rest of the world has gone quiet for the night? Just kind of hold that thought.
Because here's the thing, this isn't really a lifestyle choice. It's pretty much baked into our biology. Yeah, studies show the population is split. About half of us are natural larks, those morning people. A solid 20% are true night owls, and then you've got the other 30% who are somewhere in the middle. So if you've ever felt like you're fighting to fit into a typical 9 to 5, it might literally be in your DNA.
All right, let's get into it. Ding ding.
Round 1, the productivity battleground. Who actually gets more stuff done? The answer is way more interesting than you might think. See, it's not really about who's more productive. It's about different kinds of productivity. Morning larks, they tend to just kill it with tasks that need serious focus and planning. Like mapping out a big project or digging into a detailed report. But night owls, that's when they often find their creative flow. Perfect for that out-of-the-box lateral thinking. And there's data to back this up. For the larks, the advantage is crystal clear in some areas. A Harvard study, for instance, found that early risers can power through complex analytical tasks a whopping 25% faster during their peak morning hours. A big reason for this is cortisol. That's the hormone that makes you feel alert, and it's naturally higher in the morning for them. But hold on, don't count the owls out just yet. Other studies have shown that during their own peak hours, late at night, night owls are about 15% more creative. It's like, as the super analytical part of the brain starts to chill out, the more imaginative part is free to connect the dots in totally new ways.
And this isn't just theory. Take Ahmed, a 29-year-old writer. He says, "I write my best articles after midnight. The quietness unleashes my creativity." For him, the night is prime time for his best work. So, for round 1, I think we have to call it a draw. The winner really depends on what you're trying to get done.
Okay, on to round 2, the well-being weigh-in. Being productive is great, but what about our health, our happiness? How do these schedules actually affect us? And this is where the evidence starts to lean pretty heavily in one direction. A major study published in the journal Sleep Medicine found that morning larks have a 15% lower risk of things like obesity and heart disease. Why? Well, their schedules are just more in sync with the body's natural circadian rhythms, which control everything from sleep to metabolism.
And this isn't just some abstract number. It has a real impact on people's lives. Look at Fatma, a teacher, who realized that forcing herself to be a night owl was taking a serious toll. She said, "Staying up late harmed my health and made me feel sluggish during the day." And that's a really common story when our schedule is fighting our biology.
And it's not just our physical health either. It looks like early risers have a bit of a mental health advantage too. Because their sleep cycle lines up with natural daylight, they get more of that morning sun, which gives a nice boost to serotonin, the happiness hormone. In fact, one study found this leads to 20% fewer mood swings compared to night owls. So, does this just mean that morning larks are basically guaranteed success and night owls are doomed to struggle? Not so fast. Let's head into round 3 and check out some real-world success stories. Just look at these 2 completely different paths to the top. You've got Layla, a 33-year-old CEO. She's up at 5 a.m. to plan, exercise, and get a head start. She says it gives her a competitive edge. But then you have Mohammed, a 28-year-old digital artist. He works from midnight until dawn because that's when he says, "The quiet inspires my best work." And his incredible art, made in the dead of night, has won him awards all over the world. So after all that, after 3 rounds, what's the verdict? Who wins the showdown? Well, here's where we kind of flip the whole script. Because the real battle isn't lark versus owl. It's about you finding your personal winning formula. And this, right here, is the most important takeaway of all. There is no single best pattern. Real success, real productivity, and genuine well-being, they don't come from forcing yourself into a schedule that just feels wrong. They come from understanding your own body and designing your life to work with your biology, not against it.
So how do you actually do that? Well, here's a simple 3-step guide. First, you gotta experiment. Give each schedule a fair shot for a week or two. Second, and this is the most important one, you have to listen to your body. Seriously, when do you feel the most energy? When are you most focused? Your body's giving you the answers. And third, no matter what, protect your sleep. Lark, owl, whatever you are, getting those 7 to 8 hours is absolutely non-negotiable.
And that really brings us to our final thought here. So often we ask ourselves, how can I become a morning person? Or how can I learn to stay up later? But maybe that's just the wrong question. Maybe the real question we should leave you with is this. Instead of trying to change who you are, how can you change your day, your job, your habits, your whole schedule to match the amazing person you already are?